At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome to the front Elli Wiemers and Michael Shauer. Ellie's from the high school and Michael's from the hospital. When I arrived here 5 years ago, one of the things that stood out to me about this region was the collaboration between the schools and the business community. It is real here. The schools listen to the businesses and try and respond to the businesses, and in turn, the businesses engage back in the schools. Here to talk a little bit about that is my friend Elli and Michael.
Good morning. We're so happy to be here and be able to share our story. Thank you for the information you shared with us just now. It's exciting to know that Northwest Iowa and all of us in this room are such great participants in the Future Ready Iowa movement. I'm going to be giving you some information and some ideas about how Spencer Community Schools and one of our area partnerships, the Spencer Municipal Hospital, work together to ultimately, as our goal, fill this pipeline of need with talented individuals and kids who are going to want to stay in Northwest Iowa, in Iowa, and be a part of our economic growth. We know that in the school, our job is to be a part of the economic development of the area. You saw that list of schools that participates as pre-apprentices. Spencer High School is a quality approved pre-apprenticeship. We will have our name added to that list of apprenticeships soon. This summer we're awarded a grant to become a registered apprenticeship. Additionally, we've been a STEM Best school, and that work couldn't happen without the help of our partners. So with me today is Michael from the hospital, and we're going to describe to you how we partner and can be an example. We try to spread the word, spread the news about how schools can partner with any of your businesses in town. So if you are a business who does not work within the Spencer School District, the ideas that you will hear us describe can be transferred to any school, any partnership between any school, any business. Before we get a little bit of information from Michael about how Spencer Municipal Hospital particularly works with us, very quickly, our careers program at Spencer High School can really be thought of in 3 tiers. Tier 1 is what every kid in Iowa gets, and that's that they have to develop a 5-year plan. The second tier at Spencer includes every junior getting an interview with someone who works within their career path. They come to the school, interviewers come to the school and speak with our students, and they've also developed a resume. Then tier 3 is more specialized work-based learning. Our goal is for every student at Spencer High School to graduate with a work-based learning experience. Those experiences could include our newly added No Boundaries in conjunction with Gretchen Terrell, Ruthven Ayrshire and Okoboji schools, where students are spending a half of a day working along the ideas of Iowa Big, which is familiar to many. No Boundaries is the Northwest Iowa version of that. So we have kids working on projects to meet needs in our community. We also have kids working on extended career experiences, and that's where Michael and the hospital come into play. We have collaborated with the hospital for several years. He's going to tell you a little bit about how we do that and his role at the hospital.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we are so excited to have high school students come, and we have students come from other schools as well too. We're going to have a sign up already. We better keep moving. So here's a few things that we do at the hospital. We've been doing this for a long time, and that's job shadowing. Just the basic. Students come in. We work with the health career or the career teachers. I've got to know Mrs. Kluver real well, and then when she went on, Mr. Wendt. We were in contact a lot with students that want to come and observe, and we're happy to be able to provide that. Some hospitals are kind of shying away from having students come in, and you can imagine why. We'll talk about that in a bit with some challenges. But what we do is we set up the student with one of our healthcare providers to follow and so on, and just observe. It's purely observation. A lot of the area schools are doing like May terms or J terms. I just got contacted from Hartley and Okoboji yesterday from students that are trying to set up some kind of program like that. So there's a lot of that going on. That extended career experience has been really neat. We have about 10 or so students that come to the hospital, One of the challenges, I'll just go to right now that we have, is providing hands-on. Some of the neat things that the students get to do through this ECE program in other fields is they actually get to build something or do some hands-on work. That's challenging in healthcare because of all the regulations and so on. So what we've done is we do some job shadowing as part of that program, but we also do then, we have a wonderful instructor, Jeff Meserl is our kind of resident instructor. He was Iowa EMS Instructor of the Year recently, so that's awesome. We have Jeff teach them some classes where they get to do hands-on. They have a dummy, they have all sorts of different things that they get to work on. They do a BLS, basic life support, and they get a certificate. They actually they're certified in that then. They also do a BCON class, which is blood control or hemorrhage control. So you learn how to stop bleeding and so on. And then they do a trauma scenarios class. All of these are, of course, some lecture type of things, but also a lot of hands-on. So that's where they're getting their hands-on things is through Jeff. So that's been really helpful. We also then work with, again, the career teachers to do tours. Usually in the fall or so, we have a group of students who are interested, I think it's usually juniors interested in healthcare, come and do a tour. After that, we set up job shadows and so on. Another thing we've done that's really kind of outside the school, but it's been an area you can explore is the 4-H, the local 4-H has a spin program, and we've done experience medicine, and that's grades 6 through 8. And then we do that every other summer where kids come in during the summer for about 1 to 4 or so in the afternoon for 4 days. And we don't take them necessarily out to areas, but we have the directors from different departments come down and take them through some exercises to simulate what would it be like. For example, lab. I know they found some kits, so simulate running a lab test, getting results, testing to make sure it's accurate. So they got a good sense for what it would be like to be a lab tech. Again, some of the challenges that we run into, hands-on experience, it's difficult. Another thing we're able to do is the robot. We have a surgery robot, and they can go to demo mode, and if it's available, we have to make sure we take care of patients first. The students get unwrap a Tootsie Roll with the robot. They're using the little hands, and they're looking through a screen and unwrapping a Tootsie Roll and stuff like that. So that provides some hands-on stuff. One of the other challenges that we run into, of course, is healthcare regulations. All of your industries have some type of regulations and so on. Privacy obviously is one of our first and foremost. We want to, our first and foremost goal is to serve our patients and protect their privacy. And anytime you have students and so on come in, that's something that we have to address and think about. And so I know they get some education through AEA. They have some HIPAA training. We do some HIPAA training with them as well too, to make sure that they understand that anything specific that they see cannot leave the hospital, and we have not had issues with that, fortunately. So that's really helped. The other thing, of course, is the sensitive nature of healthcare. People that are coming to the hospital, are going through some difficult times, and not every time would they want to have a student there. So we don't have observed colonoscopies, so don't use that as an excuse to not get your colonoscopy done. We're not going to do that. So students do go into surgery, and which could create another issue. I know if I went in to observe surgery, I'd be on the floor. I'd probably pass out once that knife started cutting, but we fortunately haven't had students. We've had a couple of students get a little queasy, but the nurses, they take care of them, get them out of the situation, so on. But yeah, just given the sensitive nature of healthcare, what we do though is the healthcare provider asks the patient or patient's family, is it okay if the student comes in? And sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are. We actually even, I think, during, I don't remember, it was the ECE experience or just a regular job shadow, a mom was actually okay with the student coming in for the delivery. So it's like that was the next student came out just like, wow, what a neat experience. Yeah, I mean, and that's something we certainly are not going to guarantee students. Another issue we run into is volume of students. One of the students that just contacted me from Hartley, they wanted to come like a couple days a week, like from January all the way through May. We just don't have the resources to do that, as far as we have clinical students that are already coming from colleges to train. So we do have to put some limits on it, but the thing to do is not be like, no, we can't do it. Let's find something that we can do. So we find a time, we get a couple, 3 days that they come in and observe the different areas and so on. And of course, the main thing for us is patient care comes first. We never want student situations to interfere with our patient care. So we're always keeping that very mindful. So when I was talking with that Hartley student, they said, well, I think a Sanford place that they were maybe going to go to, they kind of stopped doing job shadowing and so on. And we really don't want to get there. We want to be able to provide these students with those experiences. So takeaways here, for us, it's like these are our future caretakers. Healthcare, there's a lot of demand, a lot of shortages, and we need to get people interested in these areas. So whatever we can do, we do that. One of the things I've learned too is recognize that when students come in, we ask them what their interest is in, and if they end up in their initial interest, we would never have a shortage in OB or NICU nurses, because that's what they all want to do, is they want to see the kids and the babies and so on, and we try to get them in birth center if we can. But the thing to do is help them see what else is out there. They don't even know. How many of you know what a polysomnographer is? I sure did when I first started working in the hospital. I didn't know how to spell it probably. But it's a sleep tech, somebody who does the sleep studies. So they don't even know what's out there. So if you have a student come in and they say, I want to do this, well, make sure that they're aware of all the other opportunities that are out there, because they probably don't have a clue what is even out there. So another thing we like to do is gather feedback from the participants. And my favorite comment was about Jeff Meserelt, for one of his classes was, the student wrote, "This was the least boring lecture I've ever attended." So, that's not right, good deal. And that was their very positive way of saying they love that class and stuff. So we chuckled when we shared that with Jeff. But so anyhow, and then the key thing is to partner. Find those partnerships. Again, with Mrs. Kluber, she's moved on out, but Mr. Went, we do a lot of back and forth with talking and getting students lined up. Another thing that we have is the health occupations class. I think that's a fairly new thing at the high school. There's a teacher that can teach CNA classes. They can get CNA certified and other classes. And through that class, we have some of our directors that go there to do some speaking. We sometimes have them come. And then we do support that as a hospital. We help pay part of that salary stuff too, because we see how important it is to get kids interested in healthcare. So those are some of the things that we've been doing. Do you have anything to add at all?
Well, I would ask those of you that have, we have a lot of our friends of Spencer Community Schools in the room. If you have hosted any of our students at your place of business, worked with a student through an ECE or through No Boundaries, would you raise your hand? We have several of you in the room that have helped us out, and we certainly say thank you to you. We appreciate your investment in our kids. Additionally, as Michael was speaking, I hope you were thinking about, in your line of work, in your industry, what might some of the similar challenges be? Spencer High School has done a lot of homework in terms of learning child labor laws, how we work with business and employers on the hazardous occupations, what we do about insurance. We insure the students on our workman's comp as a way to help you out. And we want you, as we heard to start here today, to walk away with one actionable idea. So if you have one actionable idea, we want to be reaching out to the school that within the region where you work. Hopefully that's us. We're here for you, and we want to take your kids and take our kids and put them out into your workplace. What questions do you have for us?
It's like school.
Yeah.
Is there a question in the back?
I think it was just letting
Yeah,
us know we're
she was
about
just
done,
letting us
so,
know we had 60
you know,
seconds now less. Yes, Jeff, yes.
Elli, are you getting maybe some underrepresented students in these opportunities as well?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we work with Voc Rehab, and shout out to Kara there and her team at Hope Haven. We also, our demographics at Spencer High School, we're a pretty homogeneous group, but we have working to have all of our kids of all ethnic backgrounds and both genders working and out in our workplaces. Yeah, we're having quite a bit of success with at this point between a third and probably just above that of our students getting a work-based learning, and with No Boundaries especially, I think we're going to be able to see that grow, and we just really appreciate all of our partners here in the room for the investments that you make in Spencer Schools and in our students. And thank you for the opportunity to be here
one thing
today.
I'll just quick say is it was really neat. A couple months ago, we hired a new speech therapist who I remembered bringing through Job Shadow and really talking to her about some different careers. Made me realize I'm getting older too, of course, because she's a high school student then, now she's married, has a kid, and is a speech therapist. But it's neat to see these kids that are now, that you remember as high schoolers coming in trying to figure out what they want to do. Now they're out there taking care of us, so it's wonderful.
Thank you very much.